January 4th, 2012. In the midst of the chaos of fortune, an image appears on a black background with a message that said, "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have designed a test. There is a hidden message in this image. Find it, and we'll lead you along the path until we find us. We hope to meet the few who make it to the end. Good luck 3301, without anyone knowing." This message unleashed one of the biggest, most complex, and sophisticated mysteries in the history of the internet. It wasn't a simple image. It wasn't a joke. It was the beginning of one of the most mysterious digital searches ever recorded, a faceless global search with no rules, considered by many to be the most complex challenge ever created on the internet. A challenge so elaborate, so profound that even today it remains completely unsolved. The mystery of Cicada 3301. At first, nobody took it seriously. It was just another post on 4chan, one of the most chaotic and strange forums on the internet. On 4chan, you can find practically everything. Nothing seems to make sense, and that's why most things are simply ignored. But there is something that changes the rules when someone launches a challenge. When you imply that behind a simple message, there is something more, something hidden, something that only the most intelligent can discover. You awaken a curiosity impossible to ignore. And that was exactly what happened. Those who decided not to ignore this message discovered that when they opened the image in a text editor, they found a readable string of characters at the end of the file. Tiberius Claudius Caesar says, and some meaningless numbers. The people who got here realized that it was a Caesar cipher. This type of encryption works by shifting the letters of the alphabet a fixed number of places forward or backward. For example, you move the alphabet 3 places forward. This is how it would look, and the code would be 3. But there is something you have to understand. The Caesar cipher on its own is not complicated. Today there are online tools that decipher it in seconds. The really difficult thing was not solving it, but recognizing it. The key was in that mysterious phrase in the face. Message Tiberius Claudius Caesar says, a subtle reference that only makes sense if you have a basic understanding of cryptography. It wasn't a difficult riddle, it was a clever riddle. One that filtered out those who simply looked from those who knew where to look. When applying a 4-letter scroll, the hidden message revealed a link. Upon entering, only an image appeared. A duck. Oops. There are only distractions around here. Seems you don't know how to decipher the message. It wasn't a mistake. It was part of the game. Most people who got here simply turned back believing it was a dead end. But as in any good riddle, the important thing was not in sight. The message written in English contained 2 keywords: out and guess. Together they formed the name of a little-known tool, Ouches, a software designed to hide information inside images. Passing the images through Outchest revealed a new link. This time it led to a cultured subreddit for those who had made it this far. It was obvious. This was a book cipher. This method works by using a text, a book, a poem, even a newspaper as a reference. Each word of the secret message is encoded as a coordinate page line word. For example, if on page 28 line 3 word, for example 4, appears the word hello, the encrypted message would be 2834. It's a simple system but incredibly effective. When the book is unknown, once again the key is not only in deciphering but in knowing what to look for. From this point on, things got more difficult. Upon entering the book's subreddit, nor any obvious clues, just a sea of planes of text with no apparent meaning, but 2 images stood out. Deciphering the first without just revealed a message: from now on, we will cryptographically sign all messages with. This key, available on the Meet Keyserver's Patience, is a virtue. Luck 3301. It wasn't just a clue, it was a confirmation of what was happening. It was real, meticulously prepared. The second image contained another message: the key has always been right before your eyes. This isn't the quest for the Holy Grail. Stop making it harder than it is. Good luck 3301. As I said, the message was right before your eyes in that subreddit, hidden in plain sight. There was an inconspicuous image embedded at the top of the page. Upon decoding it, contained a hidden message, the name of a book, an ancient book. Dense, the mythology of Wolfinch. With that piece of the puzzle, everything changed. What were once meaningless lines began to take shape, and a new message was deciphered: call us at this phone number 2 billion 143,909,608. Very good, you have done well. There are 3 prime numbers associated with the original final JP 3301. Is one of them? You will have to find. Those who had made it this far went back to the initial image and soon discovered that the image was not in the shape of a perfect square. The dimensions of the image were 509 and 503, the 2 missing numbers when multiplied together. This was the result when the web page opened. A cicada and a countdown appeared. At this point, the internet was on fire. The mystery of Cicada 3301 had completely boiled over. What started as an anonymous post on 4chan spread like wildfire. Social media, blogs, YouTube channels. Everyone was talking about it. Images, clues, theories were everywhere. Entire forums were dedicated to analyzing every detail. Threads were opened, groups were organized, articles were written, videos were made. The media began to cover it. Thousands of people all over the world were completely hooked, no matter the country, language, or profession. Everyone wanted to figure it out. Cicada became a global phenomenon. When the countdown hit 0, a list of coordinates appeared. 14 locations in 5 countries around the world. Now it was time for the general public to understand. That was near these coordinates were to the locations. The fact that the coordinates were spread all over the world could only mean one thing: Cicada 3301 was not the work of a single person. This was international, global. The level of precision, the complexity of the puzzle, the infrastructure needed to place physical clues in multiple countries all pointed to an organization. But what kind of organization? For many, there were only 2 possible options. Either it was the work of an intelligence agency, or it was some highly sophisticated criminal group. The mystery had already spiraled out of control, and the only thing that was clear was that no one knew who Cicada 3301 was. At each location was a QR code with the image of a cicada. Each QR code redirected you to an image again of a cicada. Deciphering the conjust image revealed this: a faded death poem named after a king, meant to be read only lie once and disappear. Unfortunately, it couldn't stay invisible. The message also had a warning: you have shared too much so far. We want the best, not the followers. Therefore, the first to arrive will receive the prize. Good luck. 3301. It didn't take long for the world to know that the poem was from the book Agrippa, an encrypted book. When decrypted, it revealed a web page. But it wasn't just any web page, it was an ion link Pannonian. Links are used to encrypt data and protect users when entering websites only accessible from the surrounding shot. Cicada 3301 had just opened the door to the depths of the internet, the dark web. But this is where it got more interesting. The web only let in the first ones, left a message: we want the best, not the followers. Cicada 3301 showed his discontent for the massive leak. He warned every person who entered the website not to collaborate, not share, not talk about anyone about this. Some did not follow this warning, but those who did reached the end of this puzzle. After a month of silence in the subreddit, an image appeared. Cicada 3301 assured that he had already found the highly intelligent individuals he was looking for. The mystery had come to an end, or at least so it seemed. A year after the first encounter, an image with the authentic signature was published. Hello again. Our search for highly intelligent individuals continues. The first clue is hidden inside this image. Find it, and it will lead you on the path to find us. We hope to meet the few who make it to the end. The puzzle was very similar to the previous one. The image had a message in the code. This message led you to a book. The book led you to a website, and the website led you to a file. But this wasn't just any file, it had an operating system inside. When you started it, all the prime numbers were rare, executed one by one until it reached 3301, and when it finished, the system restarted by itself, a perfect loop. But between those numbers hidden in the sequence was a message. The message numbers pointed to a Twitter account, an active account that published thousands of code messages. Soon, it was also discovered that you could break the sequence of the file and explore it inside the file. There was also a song instar emergency music, until someone made a connection. The Twitch were written in binary code. and they weren't individual messages together, they formed a single file. But that file was encrypted, and the only way to decipher it was to use the song. When you deciphered the file, it led you to this image. Runic alphabet, an alphabet used by the ancient Germanic peoples. The decrypted image revealed 8 new locations scattered around the world. But this time there were no QR codes. There were phone numbers, each number required an access code, and as was customary, the key was hidden. Only those who managed to correctly interpret the runic alphabet could advance. Once the correct code was entered, an automated voice recited a long sequence of letters and numbers. That string was actually a hexadecimal code when translated. It revealed a new address on the dark web, and exactly the same thing happened. The page only accepted the first ones, but now the entry did not guarantee anything to continue in. Each visitor had to face a final test, 19 questions. Questions of all kinds, mathematics, logic, philosophical. Very few people passed this test, but those who succeeded reached the final stage. And if every 3,301 disappeared once again, but this was not the end, it was just the silence of something bigger. Hello. The epiphany is before you, your pilgrimage has begun. Enlightenment awaits you, good luck. 3,301. Cicada 3,000. 3-1 had returned, and with this, the third puzzle began. But the pattern remained the same. The image contained a hidden message. Revealed upon analysis, congesses this time. What was discovered was a song, interconnectivity, music. Upon studying it, it was known that revolved around a book, Liber Primus. But this book wasn't a simple clue to reach a link. Liber Primus was the puzzle. This one was written in a runic alphabet, the same one found in the second apparition. Using it, some clues like this one could be found, but most of the pages could not be fully translated. One of them sent you to a website, but this link could not be completed. The book in total had 59 pages, but only 19 could be translated. Apart from some clues, the book also had philosophical ideas, reflections that were close to a kind of cult. Cicada 3,301 no longer seemed to be throwing out only proofs he was leaving a doctrine, but with much of Liber Primus still undeciphered, the anticipation began to fade. The puzzle had reached a level of complexity so high that no one could solve it. Months later, Cicada 3,301 broke the silence once more. Hello. The path lies empty. The epiphany. His words are the map, his meaning is the route, and his numbers the directions. Seek, and you will be found. Good luck. 3,301. But no one managed to decipher anything else from that book. The years passed, and 3,301 did not appear again. But who is behind the mystery of Cicada 3,301? To understand it, first we must go back in time when the first highly intelligent individuals passed the final phase. They received a message with a clear warning. Do not share this information with anyone. Congratulations. Please create a new email address with a free public web service that you have never used before and enter it below. We recommend that you do this while still using everything to maintain anonymity. We will send you a number by email in the next few days. Once you have received it, come back to this page and add a slash, and then the number you received, 3,301. And if for some reason you broke the silence, this is what happened to you. Hello. You have shared information online now. You are removed from all of this. Even if you encrypt a key that has been given to you, it does not matter, because you have still proven that you cannot be trusted to follow simple instructions. Thank you for your participation so far. Goodbye, 3,301. But if you followed the rules, then you received this email. Inside was a message and a song. This song is your own path, another stop on the road to enlightenment. Follow it. And don't share it. The song was split into 2 tracks, which provided 2 different messages. The song had 26 tones. Each tone represented a letter of the alphabet, and when you decoded it and sent it the answer, you got this message. Very well. You have proven yourself the most dedicated by making it this far. Create a GPG key for your email address and upload it to the Meet key servers. Patience and discipline are your allies from now on. The path ahead will not be marked, but the signs are there for those who know how to see. Do not trust the obvious, seek the hidden. Your journey has only just begun. 3,301. When you created it, This came to you one last message. Do not share this information. Congratulations, your month of testing has come to an end. Out of the thousands who tried, you are one of the few who have succeeded. One last step remains. Although there will be no more hidden codes, secret messages, or physical treasure hunts, this last step requires only honesty. We have always been honest with you, and we will continue to be, so we hope that you will be honest with us too. Everyone has wondered who we are, so now we will reveal it. We are an international group with no name but no member list. We do not have a public website, and we do not promote ourselves. We are a group of individuals who have proven our worth, just like you, by completing this recruitment contest, and we are united by common beliefs. A careful reading of the texts used in the contest would have revealed some of these beliefs: that tyranny and oppression of any kind must end, that censorship is wrong, and that privacy is a universal right. We are not a group of hackers or a group of digital pirates. We do not participate in illegal activities, nor do our members. If you are involved in illegal activities, we ask that you cease all such activity or decline membership at this time. We will not ask any questions if you decide not to continue. However, if you lie to us, we will find out. You are probably wondering what we do. We are something like an organization of ideas, since our main focus is the research and development of techniques that support the ideas we stand for. Freedom, privacy, security. You have surely heard about some of our previous projects, and if you choose to accept membership, we would be happy for you to join to help with future projects. Please reply to this email with the answers to the following questions. To continue, do you believe that every human being has the right to privacy and anonymity, and that you have the right to use tools that help you gain and maintain that privacy, cache, strong encryption, anonymity, software, etc.? Do you think information should be free? Do you think censorship harms humanity? We look forward to your response. 3,301. But what happened next is not really known 100%, as the number of fake winners due to the popularity of CIC 3301 was immense. However, there were two people whose stories matched, whose details could be verified, and whose information seemed too accurate to be fabricated. According to them, after receiving the last email from Cicada 3301, they were led to a hidden forum on the dark web. There, they could communicate with 20 other winners and some of the members of the Cicada 3301 group itself. The goal was to develop tools that would protect privacy, strengthen digital security, and essentially defend individual freedom. But with no more puzzles, many of the winners simply lost interest, left this organization, and never heard from it again. Right now, everything points to Cicada 3301 being, or still is, a group of activists who defend free use of the internet, but will probably never know the full truth. This channel is new, and the idea is to bring more stories like this every week. But before saying goodbye, we cannot forget that Charles Ingram, the man who cheated the most watched program in the world, is also one of the enigmas rather saved so far. For the precision of his strategy, the way he mocked a live system, and the consequences that almost no one saw coming. But that is a mystery to the next video. See you soon, here in Behind of Enigmas.